MMA Locker Room here, Mills Young with Tony Picks, and I'm going to be going over this week's UFC Fight Night card and see which fights finished and which fights goes the distance. If you guys want my exclusive picks, exactly my premium picks on what I'm betting on this card, all you got to do is, hey, go ahead and get my 3-day package. Go ahead and buy my picks individually. I got my MMA picks up there. We're ready, locked and loaded for this week. One of the fights that I did have on here did get canceled. It was the Miles Johns versus Cody Garbrandt fight. That fight is canceled, so that pick and package is no longer available. But besides that, man, we do got some bets on this card, so let's go ahead and get it started for you guys, man. How'd you guys do last week? Over here on our predictions, we went 8-5. Not the best, but hey, man, one of the underdogs that we definitely gave out, man, everybody thought he won. Even the actual other fighter even thought he won in the interview post-conference. He even said it like, hey, man, I don't think I should have won, you know. But hey, it happens sometimes. Aaron Blanchfield looked as advertised against Rose Namajunas. Brandon Moreno put on a masterclass performance, man. How'd you guys do out there? Let me know in the comments below. Let's go ahead and get it started. This fight card is going to be taking place at the UFC Apex. It's their 100th event now at the UFC Apex. Melissa Mullins taking on Klaudia Sygula. Melissa Mullins is a -250 favorite. She was coming off of a loss in her last fight out. She's taking on a girl that's stepping up in a big step up in competition. I mean, she hasn't fought anybody. She's a striker from Poland. And looking at some of her tapes, she doesn't look like she's, you know, UFC material yet. With that being said, I think Melissa Mullins will be able to get this fight down to the ground and probably win inside the distance. The fight going over 2.5 is at a -250 because they think female fights usually always go the distance. They do at a high rate, usually probably an 82% clip, you know. But in this one, I do think Melissa Mullins can get the win inside the distance. I'm going to be taking a shot on her to win inside the distance in this one. So with that being said, fight not going the distance. Next fight taking place. Tresean Gore is going to be taking on Antonio Trocoli. Tresean Gore is a -170 favorite, +142 for the dog. They got the over 2.5 at +100. They got the under 2.5 at a -130. All right, so in this one, Tresean Gore took some time off. He's training at a better gym now at the MMA lab. He's overall a good fighter. It's not one thing that he does that he specializes in, you know. He has fast hands, you know, solid wrestling, solid takedown defense. But his cardio is one thing that we still have to see how it's going to play out. Because he hasn't really fought that many times in the UFC. He came out on a UFC Ultimate Fighter and, you know, lost to Brian Battle. Then he lost to Cody Brundage. In this fight, he's taking on a fighter, though, to where he should be able to get the win. Because this guy is a jiu-jitsu specialist. He made his UFC debut against Sharon Magomedov and got knocked out later in the fight. But the dog is going to be the way bigger fighter, way more physical fighter. But I think the overall better fighter is going to be Gore. And I think Gore could land a shot and win inside the distance in this one. I don't think this one's going to the scorecard. So I'm going to be saying fight not going the distance in the second fight of the night. Third fight of the night, we got Cody Stamann taking on Blackshear. Cody Stamann is a +225 underdog. Blackshear -270. The over 2.5 is at a -425. The under 2.5 is at a +300. Man, the lines done changed in this. I think the fight's going the distance in this one. Both these guys are guys that usually go to the decision in the scorecards. Blackshear was coming off of a knockout last time. He got knocked out in like the first round, like the first 30 seconds against Montel Jackson. Cody Stamann's been coming off decision. Both these guys like to grapple. They like to wrestle. They like to be physical. It's not one punch knock you out or anything like that. You know, the finishability is not nothing that I rate high on any of these fighters. I like this fight to go to the scorecards. Blackshear should be able to get the win. But the price tag is way off, man. He should be like -160 at the highest. There's no way I think that he's a -3-1 favorite against Cody Stamann on this card, folks. No way at all. I don't think that. And I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to the scorecards, man. Yeah, man. Don't you got? I don't know, man. I don't feel that confident in it. I do think Blackshear wins, but at that price tag, I don't know, man. But this week card is hard. It's hard, you know. I don't agree with a lot of these price tags in there, but you still got to make bets and you still got to make picks. And hey, let's just keep it going. Next fight taking place. We got Matthew Semelsberger is going to be taking on Charles Radtke. Matthew Semelsberger, the dog in this one, +136. Charles Radtke, the favorite, -160. They got the over 2.5 at a -140. Under 2.5, +110. So in this one, I think the dog is alive in this fight. The over 2.5. I don't really know about that, man. At that minus 140 in here. I seen Semelsberger drop before. I seen Charles Radtke just got dropped, but that was by Carlos Prates. So let's see how this fight takes place. Matthew Semelsberger is going to be the way more taller fighter. He's going to have the reach advantage. To me, I think he has the finish ability too in this one. Charles Radtke's going to have the wrestling advantage, and Matthew Semelsberger does struggle with takedowns. All right, yeah. I don't know, man. Is this one going I don't think that one's going the distance, man. Give me the plus money on this one, man. I think something could happen in late second or third round on any of these fighters. So give me a fight not going the distance in that one. The next fight taking place, we got Contavious Romious. He's going to be taking on Gaston Bolanos. Contavious Romious minus 200 on the books, plus 170 for the dog. They got the over 1.5 at a minus 170 and the under 1.5 at a plus 135. Romious is a type of wrestler that wants to get you down to the ground and submit you and control you. Bolanos is a striker that likes to throw spin and stuff. So you got striker versus wrestler in here. It could go either way, man. Contavious Romious did get knocked out, early on when he made his UFC debut on the Contender Series in the first round. Gaston Bolanos has been submitted in 2 of his fights, and Romious is a good submission specialist. So in this one, man, I like fight not going the distance in this one, and give me Romious as well. All right, next fight taking place. They're moving up these matchups on the card. We got Karolina Kowalkiewicz taking on Demise Gomes. Demise Gomes minus 530 on the books, plus 400 for the dog. They got the over 2.5 at a minus 300. They got the under 2.5 at plus 230. So in this one, female fights usually always go the distance. You usually could blind bet it and say, all right, it's going the distance. I don't know, man. Demise Gomes hit hard. And, Karolina, she's been hit plenty of times. I don't know. Man, I don't think this one's going to scorecards. I don't know, man. I don't think this one's going to scorecards. I could see Demise Gomes winning inside the distance in this one. So with that being said, give me the plus money price tag. Because, look, they got the over so chalky, right? What am I going to do? I usually advise this on some of the fights that go the distance, and stuff. Get you 3 ones that's going the distance, parlay them. Get you a nice plus money price tag. But the finish ability on Demise Gomes and the durability on Karolina, oh no, I can't do that on this one, man. Give me the fight not going the distance, and I think Demise Gomes wins inside the distance. That price tag is way off though. Minus 500 for her? No way possible. Can I tell you guys, hey, do this and do that with that number? But you see what I like on the fight not going the distance. Next fight taking place, Mansur Abdul-Malik taking on Dusko Todorovic. All right, man. We got Malik plus, Malik's going to be a minus 390 favorite, all right? Plus 310 for the dog, Dusko. They got the over 1.5 at plus 140, under 1.5 at minus 145. Wow, man. These books be having some good numbers out there, man. So if you guys look for numbers, man, a lot of these books, man, they're like DraftKings, FanDuel, Bovada, Pinnacle, BetOnline, anything you guys got available that's out in your city and state to gamble on. But shop around for the best line. Because on some of these books, this line I've seen was different. Now, coming out a little bit closer to the time, I like this line on this. What number is that? I like the under 1.5, man. I think the finish ability for Malik's going to be there. Dusko could get finished. Malik is just vicious, man. His tenacity that he brings out there in the first round. And also, too, let's just say if he slows down or something, he could actually maybe get finished in that, early second round, But the under 1.5 is the number to where it's like, okay, you can feel confident. But I really think if you guys can find them under 2.5s, these are the ones to where, okay, you play the under 2.5 and you parlay that with something that you feel confident with and really get to the window. Because, to me, 7 minutes is still, it's right at that threshold to where you can either last or that's where you're either going to break and fall. Next fight taking place. We got Luana Pinheiro taking on Gillian Robertson. Gillian Robertson's the favorite in this one. Minus 395 on the books. Plus 310 for the dog. Over 2.5 is going to be plus 120. The under 2.5 is going to be at a minus 150. Now, if you guys been listening, man, women fights, they usually always chalky to go over. This one's real chalky to go under. It's under 2.5 and it's minus 150. I like this fight not to go the distance. I like Gillian Robertson to win by inside the distance. Ground and pound or submission, man. But Luana, she can strike, man. This first round, she's going to be live out there. So don't get it twisted. If Gillian Robertson ain't able to get her down to the ground, Luana could just, man, really do some damage on the feet. She hits hard. It's just that after that first round, she's just not the same. She stands for about like 13 seconds before she strikes. She moves. It looks like she's already tired and she's thinking about it in round 2. But in round 1, she's going out there for the win. She's going out there for the kill. Gillian Robertson, she's a submission specialist as well. So I like her to win inside the distance. If you guys look for a parlay piece, man, these price tags are crazy, man. But I think she wins, man. But damn, minus 390 for Gillian Robertson in this economy, man. All right, next fight taking place. We got Ricky Turcios taking on Bernardo Sapaj. Sapaj opened up a minus 170. Now he's closed out to a minus 350. That lets you know who they think is going to win. They got the over 2.5 at a minus 230. They got the under 2.5 at plus 175. I think it gets there. I think it gets over 2.5. Sapaj, he made his UFC debut against Vinicius Oliveira, and he got finished later on in the fight because, he slowed down and gassed out, but he took that fight on short notice. Ricky Turcios, he usually goes to the decision in the scorecards. He's a tough, durable fighter as well. I think this one does get to the scorecards. I think this line got steamed way too high, though, but I do like Sapaj in the spot. But, man, this is a spot to where the fight could play out like this. Sapaj could look great in round 1, and you're thinking you're good. And then round 2 could play out a little bit closer, and you're looking at Ricky Turcios turning up. And then Ricky Turcios, once he turns up, he turns up. Round 3, he could just turn it all the way around. And, and then you got Ricky Turcios winning round 2 and round 3, and then raising his hand for the win. So I either could see this, man. I could see even Ricky Turcios winning by decision. Or, man, I don't know, man. I think that's even like a nice little play, man. It's just Ricky Turcios winning by decision. He's already a plus money dog at plus 280. That'd probably be crazy on there. But I like Sapaj. I like what he brings in the game. But betting-wise, that's what I'm saying. This week, man, you got to look at the numbers and play what you guys like. This is not this is not an event or a fight card that I feel confident to just say, oh, yeah, I could do this with this fighter and, get to the window with. I'm going to be finding spots. There's different spots. Speaking of spots, I like this one. Gerald Mershaw's going to be taking on Reinrich D. Ritter. All right, Reinrich D. Ritter's making his UFC debut from one championship. He's a minus 300 favorite. Plus 260 for the dog. Over 2.5 at a minus 110. Under 2.5 at a minus 120. I don't think this one's going to the distance, folks. I was going back and forth. I think the Ritter's going to win. I think this is a fight tailor-made to showcase his skills in here. But this is the thing. GM3 always wins by submission. If you slow down and you gas out and you have cardio issues, what the Ritter has done before in one championship, GM3 is going to be there to finish you. But listening to D. Ritter, he said, I just don't want to win. I want to go out there and finish this guy. I want to put a statement on it. After hearing him in media days, what I needed to kind of hear to see where his mind is at and everything. But, earlier on in this week, I was thinking that GM3 was the pick in live. I actually said he is, but I got to go with, what I think and what I see this matchup coming out to. Gerald Marshall doesn't throw any dangerous strikes that's going to, put Ritter in harm's way. And I think Ritter could just get it done, get him down to the ground and submit him, man. All right, man. But that's how I think that one's going to play out. Main event time. Neil Magny taking on Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates opened up minus 500. He's minus 800 now. Neil Magny has the most wins in the welterweight division. He's a plus 550 underdog. The over 2.5 side at plus 145. The under 2.5 side at minus 188. Carlos Prates has like 100% finish rate so far in the UFC. All of his 3 fights, he finishes opponents. He throws deadly knees to the body, deadly knees to the head, and he strikes viciously. His nickname's the Nightmare. In this one, though, folks, there's no way I'm telling you to parlay or do anything with Carlos Prates at that price tag. Magny's a live dog in there. He can clinch people up against the cage. He fought the who's who. He fought people like Carlos Prates already. Did he win? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe some of those guys like that he got past, maybe the better ones he didn't. But what I'm saying is this. He has the experience to surprise some people, man. I think Carlos Prates is going to win inside the distance. But I'm telling you right now, if this gets to round 3, it's a no Magny fight. That's all I can say. If this gets to round 3, 3 minutes into round 3, I guarantee you Neil Magny's probably winning this fight at that time. But hey, the pick's going to be Carlos Prates, and I just think he wins inside the distance. I don't think this one's going the distance. Under 2.5. Can round 3 start? Man, it's hard. It's hard on that one, man. I just fight ain't going the distance. That under 1.5, under 2.5 is a little bit too tricky to play. But hey, with that being said, we went through the whole card. If you guys want more exclusive picks like this, you guys know what to do. Check us out here at Tony Picks MMA Locker Room. Make sure you guys like and subscribe.